everyone, so today we're going to be making this hanging heart mobile for Valentine's Day. So it's pretty easy. You'll probably have most of these supplies on hand. Inside the kits that we'll have at the annex, we have some craft paper, some ribbon, these mason jar lids, you just need the ring, and some fishing line pieces. And then to do this craft, you'll also need a pencil, some scissors, and then some tape and some glue. Any kind of glue will work. I'm using a glue stick, but any kind of glue you have will work. If you don't have glue, you can also improvise with tape, and that will work fine too. So the first step for this craft is just to decorate the lid. So you can do that by just wrapping the ribbon around it. So all you'll do is take the piece of ribbon and tape a little piece of tape right on the inside to hold it in place. If you have a hot glue gun, you could do that as well. That would maybe be a little bit sturdier, but the tape works just fine. And then you're just going to wrap the ribbon around the ring until it's completely covered all the way around. The ribbon I'm using is a little bit translucent, but you can use any kind of ribbon you have on hand. If you don't have ribbon, you can always decorate it with paper or paint or markers, however, or you could just leave it plain. And if you want a larger mobile, another thing you could use instead of this can lid is a embroidery hoop. That would be a little bit wider. Or any sort of ring that you have on hand to hold it is fine. So as you wrap, you just make sure it's covering the lid. And when you get to the end, you can trim off any extra, but leave just enough so that you can tape it on the inside. That way the tape won't show. So just tuck it in. And then use a small piece of tape to hold it in place, like that. And then you can trim off any extra if there's still a little tail. There we go. So then your ring will be all covered and decorated. Do anything you want with it. Add stickers, whatever you want to make it how you'd like it to look. The next step is to cut out a bunch of paper hearts. So I'm going to show you a really easy way to cut out hearts. You can make them all different sizes. It doesn't matter what size they are, but be creative in how you do it. You may want to have different strands of your mobile be different size hearts, or have them grow as they go, whatever you'd like to do, or you can just do it randomly. So an easy way to do a heart is to just fold over a piece of your paper, and then using your pencil, you'll kind of just draw half of a heart shape. And that might take a little practice, but it's just kind of like a little teardrop shape, and you just draw right along the fold. And when you're doing this, each heart you do, you want to do in twos so that you have two of the same size. So I might draw another one about the same size as that one, and then maybe a bigger one, maybe a smaller one, however many sizes you want, and then you'll just cut them out by going right along where the pencil line is. If you go on the inside of the pencil line, that's helpful because then the pencil won't show up on the finished heart. But if you do have some pencil, you can always just erase it. And then you'll see when you unfold it, you've got a little heart shape. So every heart that you do, you want to make another one that's about the same size. You can always trace your original one if you want to make sure it's exact by just setting the heart you've cut on the paper and tracing around it. But I kind of just wing it. And then when you have two that are the same size, these are what you're going to glue together to give it a little bit of a 3D effect. You don't have to do this. I just think it's fun to make it kind of have three sides and makes it pop out a little more. So once you've got your two hearts, you'll take some glue and put a little glue on one half of one of the folds. And you want to do that on the outside of the corner. And just do it on one side, and then you can press your heart, the other half that matches, right onto it like that, and then you'll have kind of three little wings for your heart. So you're going to do that a bunch of times, get tons of these hearts of all different sizes, and you can do different colors as well. You can do kind of a gradient of pinks and purples, or do a rainbow, or just do all one color if you'd like, whatever you think will look best, until you have a whole pile of these. And I'll show you, I've got just a couple for an example. Then you're going to add these hearts to your fishing line to create your garland strings. So you'll have in your kit different sizes of fishing line. If you don't have fishing line, any kind of string is fine to use. Yarn, whatever you have on hand is fine. So if you take a piece and you decide kind of how long you want each garland piece to be, you're going to make about 4, maybe 5 of these, depending on how big your mobile is. And then you're just going to add the hearts along the fishing line. To do that, you can just set the fishing line on the heart and add a little tiny piece of tape right there. Or if you don't want tape to show, you can kind of peel it a little, stick it in there, and add a little bit more glue. To make it stay. Shove some glue in there. Press it again so that your fishing line's caught in between the paper like that. And like I said, if it's easier, you can just use a piece of tape. So you'll add them along and you can string more hearts in a row. You may want to make each garland a different color or have different colors of hearts on each piece. That is totally up to you. Then, once you've got all your garland strings, you are going to tie each one. So here's an example of one garland string. Each of these you will tie around the lid. And so on this one here, I've got 4. They're a little tangled right now. Here we go. I've got 4 strings, each with different color hearts, and they're different lengths as well. So my dark pink is longer than my short pink, and then I've got purple too. So attach each of those to the ring, just tie the fishing line around and knot it, and then cut off the extra. Then to make it hang, you'll take 2 pieces of fishing line. This is hard to see because on the video because fishing line's almost invisible. But you'll take 2 pieces of fishing line, just tie a knot in the middle to make it an X shape, and then you'll tie each of the 4 ends of the X around your lid and space them out about the same. Make sure that where they're tied is the same length so that it'll hang evenly. And sometimes I have to fiddle with this a little bit, so I'll just tie it lightly and then double knot it once I have it the right size. And then you can hook it on here. If you have a little hook screw, you can screw that into your ceiling to hang it, or you can hang it anywhere else.